Zelensky asks UN to strip Russia of its Security Council vote.
Here's a summary of the article.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he has asked UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres to strip Russia of its vote at the UN Security Council as punishment for invading Ukraine. To deprive the aggressor country of the right to vote in the UN Security Council, to qualify Russian actions and statements as genocide of the Ukrainian people, to help with the delivery of corpses of Russian soldiers. Talked about it in a conversation with UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, Zelensky writes on Twitter. Russia is one of 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council with the right to veto decisions, along with China, France, the United Kingdom, and the United States.
This post received a score of 95,000, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
I'm sure Russia will not veto this proposal.
They can't veto it, cause the UNGA would have to do it. The UNGA can't do it. There is no mechanism for removing a permanent member of the UNSC. Ukraine may as well ask for Russia to be stripped of its nuclear weapons. It's about as likely to happen.
From the article.
Background: the USSR was granted Security Council status. They no longer exist. Russia doesn't deserve it.
Believe this is the argument Ukraine is actually going for. The Russian Federation is not the USSR. It would be a diplomatic coup if Russia lost its permanent seat because of this loophole. Would be even more ironic if they gave it to Ukraine. Greater than would be even more ironic if they gave it to Ukraine. Kazakhstan was the last country to leave the USSR, so that would be a more natural choice than Ukraine in that respect. However, I'd love for someone to dig up a case of a country technically not having declared that they left the USSR, through a series of legal loopholes, and then the final veto would go to a small country that most of the world can't place on a map. That would be hilarious.
It would then go the way of Taiwan, where the Security Council seat was given to China in the 50s. Edit. Man, I should Google data before saying them.
PRC won a General Assembly vote to take over that seat.
The PRC should have a seat based on their size and global importance. I'll grant them that. How about the EU as a whole replacing Russia?
Tempting, but France already has a seat, and until 2 years ago the EU also had the UK, so that would be a more natural choice even with the current events. It would still be interesting to see if the countries try to dislodge Russia from the UNSC Permanent 5 though, since it would mean a lot if countries actually tried to do that even if they knew it was impossible.
Unfortunately, there's no real legal mechanism to dislodge a permanent member. The Charter is pretty explicit. The best argument to be made is the one brought up earlier, which is to argue Russia's successorship to the USSR. But given the decades of recognition, it would be difficult to reverse course on that now without destabilizing the entirety of the institution.
Some UN Security Council relevant comments from Putin during the 2003 Iraq War, and #X200B.
That was a spot-on analysis actually. The US will make a similar spot-on analysis today. Funny how that works.
I don't think they should strip a member of their veto power, but I do believe the UN should always ignore veto votes from countries that are implicated in the matter being voted on. You can't expect a country to agree with an intervention against itself. It makes absolutely no sense and only gives immunity to any permanent member. Which is insane.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.